All right, guys, today we're going to go over week 3, guided practice problems. Week 3, guided practice problems. Tuesday, we already did 1 and 2. I will show you those real quickly. This is what we got for problems 1 and 2. And so now, today, we're going to do 3 and 4. I'm going to go over how to do both 3 and 4. Please make sure that you have your graphic calculator handy. Make sure that you pull that up on your screen. Okay. All right, here we go. You like to watch movies at the local cinema. You have 2 payment options. 2. Option A is to buy a discount card, which will cost you $160, then $20 per movie. So that is option A. Option B is to pay $40 per movie, and that's it, period. See that period right there? It says, after how many movies will the total cost of the 2 options be the same? So in other words, if I was to graph them, where would those lines cross each other? When is our x and y values going to be the same? These are linear equations because they have constant rates of change. The rates of change for each situation is not different, okay? All right, it's not different. For option A, the rate of change is $20 per movie. It doesn't change. And for option B, it's $40 per movie. That doesn't change. It's just $40 per movie. So that makes these linear equations because the rates are constant in both situations. All right, so let's put option A over here. So we can write the equation to find the total cost for option A. And let's put option B over here so we can write the equation for option B on this side. All right, so going back and reading option A, remembering first, recap real quick. When you're writing a linear equation, there's 2 things you need. You need a rate of increase or decrease. Another word for rate is slope or rate of change. And then the other thing you need is a starting amount, initial value, some type of starting amount. And the name for starting amount is Y-intercept. Okay, so that's 2 things that you need to write an equation. In a word problem, you're looking for the rate of change, the rate of increase or decrease, and you're looking for a starting amount or an initial value, which is in terms you're starting your Y-intercept. Okay, so here we are. Option A is to buy a discount card. So you have to buy a discount card, which costs $160. So your discount card, the price of the discount card, you automatically have to pay. So that's going to be your starting amount. So that's B. Remember we said starting amount is your B? So your B in this problem is going to be $160. You automatically have to pay that. You pay that one time. Okay, so that's your starting fee. That's your starting amount. Then it's going to be $20 per movie. So that's your rate. That's how much you have to pay for every single movie. $20 per movie. So my rate is $20. So then when I write this as an equation in y equals mx plus b, I replace m with 20 and b with 160. So what I have then is y is equal to 20x, because 20 is the mx, plus b, which is a positive 160. So this is my equation for option A. Okay, the total cost is going to equal to $20 times how many movies you rent or watch, plus the discount card of $160. Option B, okay, option B. Let's read it. It says option B is to pay $40 per movie, period. Just $40 per movie. There's no starting amount here. You're just going to pay $40 for every movie. So your M is equal to $40. There is no B because there's no starting amount. So your equation here is going to be y is equal to 40x. So now what you have is a system, two or more equations, linear equations. The first equation for option A is y is equal to 120 plus $160. The second equation for option B is y is equal to $40 times x. This is the system. Okay, it asks for the system to solve the problem. Now saying when is it the same amount? So in other words, where do these lines cross each other? Where do they intersect? Remembering that x, or the meaning of x, I'm going to use slope as my example. I'm going to write $20 per movie, per one movie. Remembering that y's are on the top and x is on the bottom. My y represents dollars or cost, because that's 20 on the top. That's the cost. Per, okay, one movie. Movies is on the bottom. So that means my meaning for X is going to be number of movies. That's what the meaning of X is. Number of movies. And my meaning for Y is total cost or cost. And we always say total cost for Y because, look, that's my output. Y is always my output. It's Y is equal to all of this. Y is equal to all of this. So Y is going to be total of something. X is going to be number of something. Okay? So now, after we do that, we're going to use our graphic calculator. I'm going to cut my calculator on. If you have the TI-84 or if you have the TI-83, it doesn't matter. I'm going to clear them both the same way. Second plus 712. Second, the second button plus 712. Second plus 712. That's how you clear the calculators. Either one, it doesn't matter which one you're using. Okay? Now you want to type the equations in. So let's type those equations in. When you type them in, you go to y equals. Y equals is here on this calculator, TI-84, it's at the top, and y equals is here in this calculator. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to type the equations in. Okay? So the first equation is 20x plus 160. So we got 20, we got x is right here. Okay, this is x plus 160. Okay. All right, I'm going to do the same thing here. I type it in the same way. 20, because y is already there. X is right beside the alpha button. It's right beside the alpha button. It's right beside the alpha button in the other calculator as well, the 84. Okay, so now we got 20 x plus 160. So now we have the first equation in. The second equation is just 40x. So go down to the next line, or you can press enter to get to the next line, and that's 40x. Next line is 40x. Okay? So now we're going to graph these. So in order to graph them, we're going to allow the calculator to create the coordinate plane for us. So we're going to go to Zoom, and we're going to go down to Zoom Fit. Okay? Go to Zoom. Zoom is at the top of your calculator on that first row. And then go down to Zoom Fit. Okay? And press enter. And the calculator will graph it for you. Okay? Now you have to find where does it cross. The calculator shows you that it crosses right here. Okay? Right here. So now, to get the calculator to give you what that point is, you press the second button and trace. Trace is right beside zoom. So a second, trace, intersect, press intersect, and then press enter 3 times. Okay? 1, 2, and 3. And your answer is at the bottom. I'm going to do that over here again so you can see it twice. We got second, trace, then go down to where it says intersect, and then press enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And your answer is at the bottom. That's the point in which they cross each other. That's going to be the solution. So the solution, it says x is equal to 8. So we're going to put 8 here for X, and your Y is, so put comma, 320. Okay? So what that means is that for both options, when you watch a total of 8 movies, the cost for both options is going to be 320. So this is where they cross. This is when the cost of the movies is the same, is when they watch 8 movies. Okay? All right, pause if you need to, rewind if you need to. Keep going. Okay, so now I'm going to do number 4. Okay, I'm going to do number 4. Before I start number 4, remember we're writing linear equations. A linear equation graphs a straight line. When we write a linear equation, we use the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, as explained earlier in the video. My m represents the rate. Another word for rate is slope. Yes, mx plus b. My b represents the starting amount. So these are the two values that I have to look for in my word problem in order to write an equation. I'm going to look for the rate, and I'm going to look for the starting amount. Okay. So because this is a system, remember a system is more than one equation. So these word problems are going to have more than one equation. That means they're going to have more than one slope and more than one y-intercept. All right, so let's read it and see how to write this system, okay? So this is what this says. It says, you go to Uncle's house, okay? You want to go to Uncle's house. You have 2 options. That's already telling you that we're going to be writing 2 equations, okay? Option A is to take a taxi, which will cost you $10 plus $1.50 per additional mile. Option B, you're going to drive yourself. That means you don't have to pay somebody else. You're going to drive yourself. The cost of gasoline is $2 per mile. After how many miles will the total cost be the same for both options? This is a system of linear equations because both situations A and B have a constant rate. In A, the rate is consistent, and in B, the rate is consistent. That makes them both linear equations. The rate is not a certain amount for a certain time and then change to go to something else. It's the same amount every single time for A, and for B, it's the same amount every single time. So these are both linear equations. So let's write the equations for both. I'm going to draw my line. Over here, I'm going to put option, bless you, babe. I'm going to put option A, and then I'm going to put over here option B. Okay? Remember, to write an equation, I'm looking for 2 things. I'm looking for the rate and the starting amount. So I'm looking for the rate and the starting amount for both options. I'm looking for the rate and the starting amount for both options. Okay? All right, so let's read A again. A says that option A is to take the taxi, which will cost you $10. What's $10? Is $10 going to be my rate, or is it going to be my starting amount? Which one do you think $10 is? Do you think it's the rate, or do you think it's the starting amount? Like you automatically have to pay that amount. It's the starting amount. So that's exactly right. This is your starting amount. $10 is how much you automatically have to pay. So then my rate is $1.50 per additional mile. That's my rate. It's $1.50 for every mile. So then how do I write this as a linear equation? Remember, a linear equation, you write it as y equals mx plus b. You're going to replace m and b. So how do I write that? That's going to be y is equal to what? 150. What? X plus 10. Excellent job. Okay, very good. So now let's look at option B. Option B, we read it, it says, B is to drive yourself. The cost of gasoline is $2 per mile, period. That's where it stops. What is the $2 per mile? Is that my rate or is that my starting amount? That's your rate. It's definitely my rate. It's $2 per mile. There is no starting amount because you are driving yourself. Do you understand that? So you're not charging yourself something. You're just paying for gas. Got it? So now to write this equation, since there's no B here, you just write it as y is equal to 2x. There's no B. So now your system, which means there's more than one equation, your system of equations is going to be the first equation, which is option A, and your second equation, option B. This is your system of equations. And I'm going to pause to give you a chance to write, and then we're going to solve it. This is how we set it up. Now we have to figure out where these points, where these lines cross each other. When you graph them, when I graph these two lines on a coordinate plane, where do they cross? This would be the solution. Whatever this XY value is, this is going to be my solution wherever they cross. Okay? So that's how you solve. So go ahead and copy this part right here, and then we're going to solve it. I'm going to pause for the calls. So here, we want to figure out if where these lines cross each other. That's going to be my answer. That's when my X and Y values are the same for both options. Remember, to find my X and Y, I'll take a closer look at slope. Let's look at this slope right here. It says 150, that's dollars, that's dollar amount per 1 mile. Okay, so on the top are my Y's and on the bottom is my X's. So on the top, this is talking about cost. And on the bottom, this is talking about miles. So my meaning for X is miles. We're going to put number of miles. My meaning for Y is cost. So we're going to put total cost. Now, Ms. Reyes, why do you put total? Because remember, Y is your output. That's all of this, what this is equal to. So Y is always going to be total something. X is going to be number of something. Y is total. X is number of whatever that unit is. All right? So now let's use our calculator so that we can get our answer here. Okay? So I'm going to have my calculators. Let's clear our calculator like we did before. Second plus 712. Second plus 712. Okay, if it's your first time using the calculator, you probably don't have to clear it. But you still need to know to clear your calculator is second plus 712. Some of us have the TI-84 and some of us have the TI-83. Okay? Second, the second button, plus button, 712. Okay? All right. Now we want to graph these equations. We want to graph these equations. So this is how you do this. And we did this on yesterday. Don't forget. Go to y equals. Y equals is at the very top of your calculator. Y equals is here and y equals is here. It's the very first button, top button on your calculator. We're going to type the first equation in, which is 150x plus 10. So that's 1.50. X is right beside the alpha button. It's right beside the alpha button. And then it's going to be plus 10. Okay? So we got 150x plus 10 is the first equation. On this calculator, it's in the same place. 150, x is beside the alpha button, plus 10. The second equation, you can press enter or the down arrow to go to the next line, is 2x. So you're just going to type in 2, and the x is right beside the alpha button. So we got 2, x is right beside the alpha button. Okay. All right, so now we want to graph it. So in order to graph it, I want the calculator to choose the best coordinate plane. So what I'm going to do is go to zoom, press zoom, and I'll do it twice for you, okay? Go down to zoom fit, press enter on zoom fit, zoom fit. It's probably towards the bottom. Okay. Again, you press zoom, then go down to zoom fit and press enter. And it'll graph it for you. Now, what you notice is that it doesn't show you where they cross, but you know it's going to cross up here because it's getting closer and closer. So what you're going to do is you're going to expand your x-axis. You're going to go over on the x-axis and go up on the y-axis. So this is how you do this so you get more space up here. Go to Window, and the x-axis, we're going to go over to where it says x max, and we're going to change that from 10 all the way to 20. X max changed to 20. And Y max, that means you're going up. Just type in 20, babe. Y max, you want to go up some more, so let's type in 40 there. Okay? I'm going to do it one more time. Go to Window. Your X max is going over to the right more. Instead of going over 10, I need to go over 20. See if that'll give me enough space. And Y max is going up, so I'm going to go up 40. Now I'm going to graph and see if I can see where it crosses. Then you press graph. Graph is the button that's on the end. Right here. So graph. And look, it's right at the edge, so I need to go up a little bit, just a little bit more. So go back to Window. This time I'm gonna go over 40, and I'm gonna go up 50 and see if that changes anything. Okay, well you can kind of see where it crosses, sorry. So now I'm going to figure out where it crosses. Window, I went 40, and then changed this to 50. All right, so now in order to find where it crosses or where it intersects, go second, trace. So press the second button and the trace button. Trace is right here. And now you want to go intersect because you want to figure out where it crosses. And now you just press enter 3 times. So press enter 1, 2, 3. And your answer is at the bottom of the screen. X is 20, Y is 40. I'm going to do it again here, okay? I press second, trace, intersect, where does it cross? And now I press enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And my ordered pair is at the bottom of the screen. It's going to be 20 for X and 40 for Y. And so what that means is that for option A and B, they drove 20 miles and had to pay $40 for both options. That's where they crossed. So both options at 20 miles, they both had to pay $40. That's when it's the same. Questions about that? So the answer is, it says how many miles? It's 20. Yep. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the video here if you don't have any questions.